Hey guys, so we're gonna Adam, by the way, um, first man next to die. Uh, so we're gonna watch the last few videos. I was gonna just do them one by one, but I really don't feel like doing that. I was just gonna watch one after another, talking in between, and then kind of talking a little bit about the show and hopefully where I think it's headed. But so we're introduced to Adam. He's got these lovely ribs right here, who he so generously offered uh to Charlie, but he's not actually there. He's just like a hologram. And this is our first introduction to him. She walks in and tries to like I think shake his hand or something. He's just a hologram. He's like, "Huh, gotcha, bitch." And then a little few seconds later, he's like offering her those, and he's like, "Huh, gotcha again, you dumb bitch." And he's a complete asshole. The dude thinks he's the first guy, so he can just act and behave and, treat people any way he wants. Because he's in heaven. He's basically, no matter what he does, and he's in good grace because he was the first man. You know, first man created by God. So it's like this guy can be a complete freaking scumbag, and it doesn't matter. So, but this is our first introduction, and this is Hell is Forever, which it starts off kind of like more of a because Charlie's singing, so you know how Charlie sings. But then we get to him.
It's almost out of time. Guess we should get into it.
Oh, fuck! Ugh. Ugh. Okay, I've got a lot to get through and not a lot of time, and I feel like you weren't hearing me before, so here goes. I know Hell's population is out of control. It's a bad situation, it's taking a toll. If we rehab these sinners and cleanse all their souls at my Hazbin hotel. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Right, extermination. I know you guys fly down just to kill once a year, and it must be annoying to schlep all the way here. If they join you in heaven, that trip disappears. You can wave at your farewell. It'll be a happy day.
Let me stop you right there. Save us all precious time.
Okay.
If what you're suggesting is letting them climb up the ladder, oh, they'd rather cross the pearly gates.
Well,
Sorry, sweetie, but there's no defying their fates. Cause hell is forever, whether you like it or not. Had their chance to behave better, now they boil in the pot. Cause the rules are black and white, there's no use in trying to fight it. They're burning for their lives until we kill them again.
Okay,
Just try to chillax, babe, you're wasting your breath. Did I hear you imply that they don't deserve death? Are they winners, are they sinners? Cause it's cut and dry.
actually, if you take a
Fair is fair, an eye for an eye. When all said and done, there's the question of fun. And for those of us with divine ordainment, extermination is entertainment. Guitar solo, fuck yeah! Hell is forever, whether you like it or not. Had their chance to behave better, now they boil in the pot. Cause the rules are black and white, there's no use in trying to fight it. They're burning for their lives until we kill them again. Fucking hell is forever, and it's meant to suck a lot. So give up your dumb endeavor, cause you don't have a shot. Long as I got your attention, I guess I should probably mention that we've made the determination to move up the next extermination.
What?
Can't wait a whole year to slaughter those little cunts. I know it's just been a week, but we'll be back in 6 months.
Wait, can you... Oh, shit.
Complete scumbag. Like this is a guy. He's like, oh yeah, these little cunts. It's like, would anyone in heaven actually say that? No, but because Adam, because he was the first man, he's pretty much automatically, in God's good grace, afterwards, and actually, I can only imagine what happened if Eve would have ended up. Actually, probably would have been a lot better for everyone. Uh, Considering who we think the root of all evil is, who the big bad of the show really is. Hence why we haven't seen Eve yet. So would she end up like Adam? Maybe not. If she had just not eaten the fruit, she'd be in heaven along with him, and I think the show's universe would be a little different. But unfortunately, that's not how it went. And he's, for some reason, despite the fact that he's not heaven born, He's in charge of this angel army, which is stupid. Yes, he's a special being, first man created, but he's surrounded by angels who are heaven born, who were created by God, not out of dirt, but out of basically the cosmos itself. That's why they're celestial beings. But Adam's a scumbag. Respectless. This is a little meeting that all the overlords have, and they're having about a certain topic. And Velvet is here on behest of Vox and, well, basically for all the V's. So her, Velvet, her, Vox, Valentino. And she's your typical, basically what you think of someone, social media influencer, the disrespectful ones that you mostly see, the ones it's all about them, the ones who disrespect everything and everyone, don't think that rules apply to them. They prefer feelings over critical thinking. But also we have Zestial, who is such a cool character, and we see him chat a bit with Alistair. But apart from that, he really, it's a character I really hope to see again. He is such a cool character. He's such a cool design. He has such a cool voice when he speaks. But this is Respectless.
Oh, what's the matter, fossil? Too senile to make a real power grab?
You better show some respect. Check your behavior. No one speaks to Zestial that way. Did you expect us to sit back and take your...
Also, this is Carmela Carmine. She is the arms dealer in hell, hence why her arms are so damn big, because she's the go-to gal for arms. So if you're looking for a heavenly object or something else that can wipe out people, this is the chick to go to.
Insolent brazen display.
You've got it twisted. I'm not the one who needs a new attitude. Maybe you missed it, but I'm that hashtag bitch, and I will do nothing less than what I please. Woo! I'm the backbone of the V's. Mad that I acted respectless. Well, it's cause no one could respect this. Story group attending. Since when are overlords too scared to fight? You're long past trending. Sorry, babe, but I ain't swiping right. You lost your relevance.
We can't act without more intelligence.
No wonder I'm so respectless. I could eat you lot for breakfast.
You and the V's are inane and uninformed. Smug wannabes who don't heed when you've been warned.
Oops, did I strike a nerve? Cause when I brought out the angel's head, couldn't help but observe that your wrinkled face was turning red. And why are you avoiding war? That's what the guns you sell are for. Thanks to my being respectless. One thing I'm starting to suspect is, you know why this angel's headless? Do you have a disclosure?
This meeting's over.
That was a productive meeting.
I love Alistair, man. He is really one of the best characters in the show. It's like, so is anyone else gonna say? Anyone else gonna? That was a productive meeting. Also Rosie sitting next to him. She's adorable. I love Rosie. She is such a cool character. She's a cannibal, and she's kind of like a very, as Alistair describes her, as the most dangerous overlord this side of the pentagram. Not because of her power, I don't think, but because of her influence. And a lot of them are like that, like Vox and Valentino. They're not particularly powerful, as in like Alistair, where they're physically like powerful. They're powerful due to influence. I mean, you have Vox, who controls like the TV and stuff like that. You have Valentino, who is the porn dude, and then you have Velvet, who is like the social media person. So they all have power, just more influence. But Rosie, just look at her. She's so sweet. You know, her, Alistair and Charlie go to Cannibal Town to talk to her, and she's just right off the bat, she's so welcoming. You know, she automatically calls herself Auntie Rosie. You know, she's just a very warm, welcoming person, very motherly. You know, when Charlie's feeling like, oh, I can't do this, she sits Charlie down, and, you know, kind of gives her a talk. And also the big one right there, apparently her name is Zizi. But I love that design, very like 80s look. A lot of the times how they look and how they're dressed is around the time they've died. So very much like an 80s look. Kind of like Cherry. He looks very much like a punk from the 80s. And we've got Carmilla's two daughters. But yeah, you can see is Velvet's just like people you see on TikTok or Instagram, these influencers who think they're hot shit, who think they're everything, who look at me, I'm young, I can do this, I can disrespect you. You know, Zestial saying the obvious, like, you can't jump into something without knowing what to expect, which is a lot what these younger people do now. They just jump into things, you know, thanks to feelings or whatever, without thinking it through. And then they find out, oh, hey, this was a bad idea. But Velvet is just, you know, she's using all the words you would expect, you know, swiping right and bay, and she's very modern. But that was a productive meeting. This one I showed a little bit of, mainly just for one of the visuals. But this one's really good. So Charlie kind of wants to know what people have to do to get into heaven, and this right here is the list that Adam makes. And then they watch Angel, and he does all those things. It's like, okay, well, Angel just did all these things on the list that you said. Why is he not here? And then Charlie's kind of like, wait a minute. Does anyone here really know what someone has to do to get here? And no, it's like a lot of corporations, a lot of people in charge. You know, they have rules and things, but they never enforce them, or they never act the way they're supposed to. Like, oh, we're all about safety, but then it's like the most dangerous place ever. And it's just really for show, you know, to keep their asses out of trouble. But these people who sit there and judge and say, oh, well, no, these sinners can't go to heaven. And it's like, okay, why not? What do they have to do to get here? It's like, so you guys don't even know what it takes to get here, and you're sitting here and telling them that they can't. You're telling me, and you're doing. But this is a good song, and just the visual I showed from the last one when I was talking about the show in general, it's so good.
But she was right, Sarah. She showed us the soul can improve. He saw the light, Sarah. Checked all the boxes that you said would prove a person deserves a second chance. Now we turn our backs, no second glance. It's not as simple as you think. Not everything is spelled in ink. It's not fair, Sarah. Careful, Charlie, keep a cool head. No, don't you care, Sarah? That just because someone is dead, it doesn't mean they can't resolve to change their ways. Turn the page, escape infernal place. I'm sure you wish it could be so, but there's a lot that you don't know. What are we even talking about? Some crack or who fucked up already? He blew his shot like the cocks in his mouth. This discussion is senseless and petty. There's no question if we
It's so good. That image, it's so good. And like it shows, it's like, do we trust her? We see Emily is to be trusted because she's the one questioning everything. But her sister, it's always when it's like, oh, I was doing it to protect you, it's my burden to shoulder and this and that. But then you see, because you see the in the middle and it's got the flames going on, and now you're seeing the reflections, and you're not seeing because there was people in the orb as well, but that's not what it's showing. It's just showing the flames. And it's like, okay, do we trust her? Is she going to be one of the big bads? Because she's saying, oh, I'm doing it to protect you. I'm your older sister. It's my job. You shouldn't have to do this. But is that the case? Is that truly the case? Or did she willingly do this because she's just as depraved as Adam is? So the whole visual of the fire and, they draw her eyes to try to look sympathetic, but they have the fire, and then she's got the smile, and it's just, is she truly trying to protect her sister? Is she saying, oh, it's such a hard decision? No, I think that they're setting this up to be one of the big bads, because come on, visuals like this don't get shown for no reason. When it comes to design and visuals, stuff like this is done for a reason. We're meant to see that, hey, this person right now is not to be trusted, that they're basically the female Adam at this point. She's just a lot more reserved about it, where Adam is just, fuck you, you dumb fucking cunts, this and that. She tries to show herself in a more basically royal fashion, very reserved, very well spoken, doesn't really show a lot of outward emotion like that. But then we see essentially the madness, like I said in the last one, essentially the madness that's actually in her. It's just so good.
Tired to think that I admired you. Well, I don't need your condescension. I'm not a child to protect. Was talk of virtue, just pretension. Was I too naive to expect you to heed the morals you're purveying? That's what the fuck I've been saying. If hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie. If angels can do whatever and remain in the sky, the rules are shades of gray when you don't do as you say, when you make the wretched suffer just to kill them again. I was told not to trust in angels.
By her?
She should know.
We should go.
No! Don't you see? We've come so close. Look at them fighting. They're at each other's throats.
Don't you act all high and mighty. Did you ever think your little girlfriend might be a liar?
Don't, Adam, please.
What's the fuss? Why hide the fact that you're an angel just like us?
So yeah, we in here we learn that Vaggie is an angel, or as Adam calls her, Vaggie. Say that's what she was named after. Penches calls her Vagatha, which I think is hilarious. It was in the final battle. He was like, Vagatha, and she's like, that's not my name. But the whole thing with this, where do you guys come off saying that you can do this? They're already down there, they're suffering, and who's to say that they can't be redeemed and come up here? What does a person need to do? But when it comes to the actual redeeming part, it's like, well, why isn't he here? Well, I think you have to, not only do these things, but then you have to die, which is how Penchus got up to heaven. He performed those acts, not stealing and this and that, and, sticking it to the man. And then he died and he went to heaven. So yes, Angel might have done all those things in that moment, but he has to kind of continue doing them up until like the moment he dies. He dies and he'll show up in heaven. Um, and since I see most of them dying in battle, like I don't think any of these people are going to be dying from like natural causes. There's going to be a lot of fights. There's going to be a lot of death from that. So Angel will die, you know, uh, however he's meant to die, but because he's done the, not the steal, no stealing and, sticking it to the man and being selfless and stuff like that, he'll go to heaven when he dies. Again, like Penchus did. But Adam's such a scumbag, man. He's just such a scumbag. I just like, he's sitting there, he's like, it's like, Adam, dude, come on. We're having a serious moment here, pal. And then Emily, I think that Emily at some point is going to choose to go to hell. Like she's going to rip off her own wings and go to hell because she's going to get tired of her sister's bullshit and find out that her sister is actually really a bad person. That it's not, oh, I'm just trying to protect you. No, she is genuinely like Adam. She's just a bad person. And I think she's basically almost like the heaven equivalent of Charlie at this point. Even her voice is very similar. It might even be the same. Actually, no, it's not the same person. But it sounds very similar. But I think it's going to be that kind of thing where she's going to see Sarah and doing all this crap, and she's going to like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. I'd rather live in heaven where people are, I'd rather live in hell like with Charlie and in this hotel where people are upfront and true to each other and this and that, than living with my sister in heaven who I've trusted for eons, only to find out that she's fucking lying to me and she's going down there to exterminate people. So I think she's gonna have a huge character change because she's so trusting right now. When Penchus arrives, she's so happy about it. But I think at some point she's going to choose to go to hell. Okay. This song, she's oh, for the love of this song, it doesn't sound much like a song you would hear in a musical or at least a cartoon. But this song for parents should hit really, really hard. If you're a parent, it is the guy. His voice, his fucking voice. I'm not an emotional person, but if you see me getting a little waterworks, it's. I told you, I don't get emotional really when it comes to watching stuff, but if it can get me watery-eyed, it's good. Especially a moment as wholesome and as beautiful as this, between Lucifer and Charlie, and his voice, the music, the chemistry you're seeing between them. This dad who's been gone for a while, he's not been gone, not like Lilith, where there's like no connection with her at all. Hey mom, I guess you're busy again. He calls and stuff and he shows up and, he's ruler of hell. I mean, he checks on her from time to time, but this is a moment where he finally kind of says, you know what? She's my daughter. She's just like me. She's this dreamer. She has these ideas. She's a free thinker. I don't want her having the same thing done to her that happened to me. Where he was cast out of heaven and sent below, and, she's already below. So what more? They could possibly kill her because of it. And he does not want that to happen. He doesn't want anything to happen to his daughter because she's like him. This free spirit, this free thinker, this just positivity. And also people will ask why he's so short. I think that's just a representation of how he feels about himself. He's the ruler of hell. You think he's all high and mighty, but no, he's actually really, really depressed. So I think he's drawn in a way where it represents how he feels, because he could make himself taller if he wanted to. He can make several of himself. He can shapeshift. pretty sure he can make himself his actual height, but but
You don't understand. Heaven never listens. They didn't listen to me. They won't listen to you.
You don't know that.
I do.
You didn't know that when I tried this all before. My dreams were too hard to defend. And in the end, I won't lose it all again. Now you're the only thing worth fighting for. More than anything, more than anything, I'll shelter and adore you more than anything.
Dad, I don't need you to protect me from this.
I just don't want you to be crushed by them like I was.
Dad, when I was young, I didn't really know you at all. I always felt so small, but I heard your stories and I was enthralled. The tales about your lofty dreams, I listened breathlessly, imagining it could be me. So in the end, it's the view I had of you that show me dreams can be worth fighting for. More than anything, more than anything, I need to save my people more than anything.
I've been dying to find out who you are.
I've been waiting, wanting the same thing.
Looks like the apple doesn't fall far.
Took you a while.
I've missed that smile. All that I'm hoping, now that my eyes are open, is that we can start again, not be pulled apart again. 'Cause in the end, you are part of who I am. I'll support your dream, whatever lies in store.
And who could ask for
More than anything, more than anything, I'm grateful you're my daughter. More than anything, more than anything.
rough. Fuck. Ah, that one's hard. It really is. Just the voice, his fucking voice. Like this dude's range, it's just amazing. And like I said, if you're a parent, this one would definitely hit hard. I mean, apart from the having to protect her people kind of thing, I mean, this is, a father-daughter reconnecting, and just, it's so adorable. The little baby Charlie. And then we've got Mama showing up. And of course, she has remained faceless because we don't know what really anything about her for the most part until we see her at the end of the season. But I'm sure this was a lot of nights where Charlie would go into her dad's workshop there, and Lilith would have to come in and be like, "No, Charlie, it's time for bed." But then eventually one day it was just her being taken away for good. Also, my boy And I liked it. It's like this kind of moment. It's like it's kind of clear what everyone else is thinking, but like, what is Alistair thinking? Is he feeling? I mean, he outright admits that he feels a connection towards all of them. So what's he thinking about? You know, is he thinking of, look how much he's growing already. Is he feeling a sense of pride about her? Is he feeling, oh hey, this girl's gonna be easy to manipulate? I mean, what is he thinking? It's because of that smile. You don't know what he's thinking. But just also the apple doesn't fall too the apple doesn't fall too far. Obviously, Apple kind of his thing. Uh but just this whole connection and the visuals. The visuals. He seems to be very much like Disney inspired, and this is almost like this scene here definitely reminds me of Aladdin. Most of him, it reminds me of Aladdin. His first introduction, almost like Friend Like Me, Genie. This is almost like Whole New World. If you remember with Aladdin and Jasmine, they're flying on the carpet, and she kind of reaches down and kind of like her hand skims against the water. This is what it reminds me of. So he's very much like Disney inspired. But I love how in this one, like all his features, like his facial features are very like harsh a lot of the time, but they make him look like they give him such softer features here. Almost like his features now are kind of betraying how he feels. And they definitely want to give him a more sympathetic feeling. A lot more facial range with his smile and all that. I see such soft features, facial features, and they definitely want him to feel like this dad who's essentially been broken, not only from being cast out of heaven, but by losing his daughter, and still being in her life, but not wanting to fully be there because of his own depression, and seeing that she's just like him, and he doesn't want the same thing to happen to her, what's happened to him before. So they really draw him as this more sympathetic father, who just always creates these things. So like all these toys Charlie had as a kid, he's the one who created because that's what he liked to do. And just so adorable. And I think this really is the best visual. Really is the best visual. But then, just to hit it home, just to hit you in the feels even more, not only do we have this beautiful song between Charlie and Lucifer, father and daughter, but then they do this. It's a reprise of it. And this one is between two lovers. And it's almost the same deal, except now it's from the perspective of two people who love each other, intimately, girlfriends. And it's like the first display of real affection that we see between these two this entire time. Vaggie's saying babe and sweetheart and this and that, but this is the first display of open emotion that we see between them. And the end, we finally get to see, like, as I said, an actual visual display. We know they love each other, but between the song and the end, we get to finally see it. And same thing, it's just as beautiful. It's a little shorter, obviously. It's just a reprisal. But it's just as beautiful and emotional as with her and Lucifer. But now it's between two lovers. And it's amazing.
You've already done so much. So many lives you've changed. So many souls you've touched. And in the end, if it's only me you saved, there's something that
And then we finally see it. So not only, again, do we get this amazing reprisal, but we know they love each other. They know we love each other, but it was time for them to finally come out and, just kind of put everything out there. And and it just, the fact that it's the same song she sang with her dad, a person who she loves, and she's singing it with another person who she loves. One's her father, one's her lover. And it's just a simple song. It's just, hey, even if I'm the only one that gets saved here, if everyone else leaves, I'm still here, and, I do it because I love you. Aw, fat nuggets. That's it's Angel's room. Fat Nuggets is his little pig that he has. So sweet. But it's like the entire time, again, you hear them talk to each other like you'd expect, with the names, dear, sweetheart, babe, stuff like that. But you don't really see them have a heart-to-heart, a true opening up connection like this. And I guess that was done for, obviously, story purposes, because it's definitely more hard-hitting. It's all this time has passed, and you see them every episode, and they're talking and interacting with each other, but this is finally a moment where we see them really connect. It's just really good storytelling. Like I said, from a storytelling aspect, waiting for this moment, this whole more than anything reprisal. It's, even though this is like what, episode 5, it's just really good storytelling. And like I've said, what Vivian has done here, it really is special. It really is. As I've said, I don't get really emotional with stuff like this, but if I'm getting teary-eyed from these things, it's good. It's good. It takes a lot to get me to tear up. But just the story, the way it's told, the characters, the songs, everything about the show is amazing. And I really hope to see more, obviously, more deeper connections with these two. I'm interested to see the dynamic between Charlie and Lilith when she comes back. We know that she's coming back for bad purposes. Basically, she's kind of been told, like, hey, you need to do something about your kid. So while she'll be at the hotel, I'm sure, basically doing what Alistair's been trying to do, or what we thought he was trying to do, sabotage. But I think at a time Lilith is going to find that she does want to reconnect with Charlie. Because unlike Lucifer, who's been in Charlie's life, Lilith has been gone for like 7 years. And every time she tries calling her mom, she doesn't answer. So it'll be interesting between those two. It'll be interesting to learn more about why Lucifer and Lilith split up in the first place. Because they were together for a long time. I mean, Charlie's only 200, so they were together pretty much recently, for the most part. I mean, in the grand scope, the grand scheme of things, how old they actually are, well over 10,000 years. The fact that Charlie's 200 and they pretty much split up while she was small, that they were together for a while. Whether or not they had their problems before Charlie was born, we'll see more about that, I'm sure. But I'm interested to see definitely this family dynamic of what's it going to be like when Charlie, Lucifer, and Lilith are all living in the same place together, or at least interacting with each other on a regular basis. And also I have the feeling, and I hope it's wrong because it would be really stupid to do it, but I think they're going to kill Lucifer off at some point. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be an attack by Lilith that he's got to defend Charlie from. But I mean, how do you kill off the guy hell hits? I mean, Lucifer is hell. So how do you kill off hell himself? You know, and if that's the case, I would really love to see some ramifications, some like disabling of the realm itself. You know, things going awry because we're a rue. Oh, I'm here all week. You know, something upsetting like the balance because the guy who is hell itself has been taken out. But I would also like to see him get redeemed, like see him up in heaven again. You know, he's well on the way to doing that. You know, he's back in Charlie's life and he's going to do what it takes to make sure what she wants to accomplish happens. So he's already sticking it to the man. You know, he's not really stealing, and he's going to, you know, act selflessly. He's going to do what's in, you know, Charlie's best interest, and he's going to protect her. And I see him possibly dying for her, but then kind of by sticking it to the man even more, he's going to end up back in heaven. So actually, would that make him even more powerful then? If he ends up back in heaven, if he becomes a resident of heaven once more, he's already powerful. Is he going to become more powerful? I mean, but I think, yeah, he's going to be taken out at some point. Maybe Lilith. It might be reversed. It might be Lilith who gets taken out. But I hope to see some kind of, in the end, some kind of ultimate kind of evil that, you know, heaven, hell have to work together to defeat. I'm sure that's the kind of evil that's going to take out a lot of the people in the hotel. I have a few ideas with some of the other characters, but I'm already talking for 43 minutes, so we'll get into it another time. But just, if you haven't seen it, I seriously recommend watching the show. It is really something different. Every song, it's just beautifully done musically, vocally, the characters. Just give it a try. And if you're not completely satisfied, return your purchase within 30 days for a total refund. Like roof fund. I'm here all week. But John, it's Thursday. Well, I'll be here next week too. And the week after that. And the week after that. I'm done here. Anyway, Hazbin Hotel. A few of the other songs that I didn't watch. Just sharing you with you all because you may not have Amazon Prime, like I apparently had, and I didn't even know about. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.